Yeah, I got
Um, so you found yourself to be a shoe industry guy now, but how did you get to this point? What
you.
brought you to this?
Yeah, so it's kind of a long story. I'll try to try to make it as short as possible. But essentially, my father was watching a soccer game one day, and someone tore their ACL, and he like called me in the room. I was like a teenager, just got out of high school.
Hmm.
And he said, "What if shoes could like rotate?" And I'm like, "I don't know if shoes could rotate." And he's like, "Well, I feel like that could be the mechanism for injury prevention."
Hmm.
Both kind of sat on it and contemplated it, and he just, he was like, I don't know the time to do this whole project, this whole thing, but if you want to do it, it's all yours." And I'm like, I'm 18, like I'm barely passing high school, like I can't
Right.
do this right now. So kind of a couple of years went by, and I just kind of kept it in the back of my mind. And one day after work, I decided to just go buy a cleat and just see what the inside looked like. Tore it apart, whipped it open, kind of built like a different shoe.
Hmm.
Just hoping to make some sort of thing rotate in it, because like when you look at an ACL tear, you get your foot stuck in the ground, and then you kind of like have that lack of give.
Hmm.
So, and my dad's an advertiser. I was working as a housekeeper in Utah. Like, we don't have no background for this, but ended up teaching myself quite a bit of biomechanics and physics when I was 19.
Hmm.
My dad and I actually wrote our first patent, and we kind of had this layer configuration of our cleat sole, that each layer had a specific job that could flex a certain degree and level. Went to university out west to get it tested, came back positive. Got hooked up with iGenerator. They're in Portland. They're kind of like the shoe gurus of the world
Hmm.
years ago, and then sort of fell into biomedical field. Someone reached out to me at biomechanics lab. They do a lot of footwear testing for professional sports, and they tested our cleat, and turns out we actually do have something to claim, that it does reduce rotational load responsible for injury. So,
Oh, cool.
not a shoe guy, but I'm definitely a cleat guy now. So,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean it's a huge world to be in, right? I mean there's cleats everywhere, and they come out new ones come out every month, every week it seems like,
yeah,
from different
absolutely.
brands. Um, so yeah, get into like how yours works, and I'm looking at a picture of it right now. Like how the cleats allow rotation, or even if I don't even know if I'm stating that
Yeah,
correctly, but
no, you're doing great.
yeah.
So essentially, these studs will just flex. You see that
Um,
little.
yeah.
That's kind of the only degree of flexion you need to alleviate a lot of the torque responsible for non-contact ACL, MCLs, and high ankle sprain injuries. So
Mhm.
um, it's not a ton of flex. Like whenever you show someone like, "Oh, I can never run in a straight line," it's like, well, you absolutely can. We have tested by athletes, professional athletes, college athletes, but it's just a little flex, and just the front studs flex. These are the normal, traditional, rigid
Mhm.
um, studs, but these just move laterally and back and forth in any direction. And like I said, if you ask any athlete what happens to a person, their teammates, when he or she tore their ACL, it's the word we always use is stuck. You get
Yeah.
stuck on the ground, the turf monster, or whatever. This just allows you to be free. That's it. So at some point, I mean, there's this contentious debate between turf versus grass versus whatever, and like I'm not gonna lie to you, all the playing surfaces are not ideal for athletes. They're not, and the cleats don't give, and the field won't give. So ultimately, our bodies give, and that's just wrong. So the fields will never change; they won't. So something has to give. It's the studs. It's the cleats.
Mhm. So talk about like how can an athlete still plant, change directions, that sort of thing with this, increased mobility of their contact with the ground.
Yeah. So it's not enough movement to affect and act as a detriment towards someone's ability to cut or
Mhm.
perform or run or translate linear to lateral. And nothing. It's not that much. I know you see me look at my fingers and you think, wow, if I have my body weight on that, I mean, that's going to move considerably more. And that's not really the case. It's only set to a certain degree of flexion, so it really can't go much farther than that.
Mhm.
And we had this thing. So all the athletes out there that are wondering if they can perform well, we had this tested with 1,200 pounds of force rotationally, and like that's about the max a human can produce, and it didn't waver. It didn't impede the ability to go a certain direction. So it's
Right.
been tested. It's the same thing. It's just a little bit more freedom in terms of your joints and your ligaments, stuff you don't want to be compromised.
Right.
Yeah.
So talk about the testing. Like when you said you have professional athletes tested, I mean, what's kind of the standard test, and how are they? What's the feedback been, and you know, how do you know it works? I guess.
Yeah, for sure. So we did in the lab testing, not with humans, with cadavers and machines and force plates and all this stuff that
Mhm.
I only know so much about. But that testing is essentially, when does the cleat give? When does it slip? Is the rotational setting still the same? Is it safe? Is it more efficient? Stuff like that. As far as the human ones go, I played college football. So I pretty much made prototypes my entire college career, and I would just call my friends, but hey, can you play this on real quick?
Right.
We did that for a while, and then as we kind of grew and got a little more recognition, I had some NFL players wear them last year in testing, not like in games, but just testing. Ran some drills, and no one could feel any difference. So that's kind of like our goal, is to
Mhm.
have this thing function the way it does, but have athletes be unable to tell the difference. Because if you can feel it move, you're going to kind of get freaked out a little bit, but you can't feel it move. So, but no, everyone did drills and they ran, and ran routes and DV drills, and it's the same. It's exactly the same. So
Mhm.
there's been no one saying it feels like it's loose. I feel unstable. I feel too mobile. None of that's
Mhm.
happened. None of that's occurred.
Right. Um, we need to get Pacheco to try him out the way he runs.
Yeah.
um, so yeah, I mean, are you focused mainly on soccer right now, or just any sport can wear them? I
Yeah,
guess.
so we're doing men's football the first year, and then
Mhm.
we're going to do women's soccer the first year. We're not going to do men's soccer. We're just trying to get that advantage to women's sports that they need and they deserve,
Mhm.
and they haven't had yet. So we're doing that, and also they're at way higher risk of ACL injuries.
Yeah.
So we're going women's for the first year, maybe even first 2 years. We're not sure. So yeah, I mean that's kind of where we're at. And then lacrosse, we're obviously making the cross ones because the cross cleats are essentially football cleats, and soccer cleats just labeled lacrosse cleats. So,
Right.
um, yeah, no baseball. I mean rugby you can, but just specifically men's football and women's soccer.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
Um, talk about like how do you make this happen? Like how do you become a shoe company? You know, you had a great idea and you went through testing and patents, and now you're ready for production. Like how do you find a place to produce it? How do you end up with that cleat in your hand and then able to sell it to your customer?
a lot of luck. I'll say that right off the bat, man. A lot of luck.
Right.
I think I was during the beginning of this. I was super lost. Like I had no idea. I knew nothing about cleats or
Mhm.
manufacturers, or intellectual property. I think the big turning point was when we hooked up with iGenerator in Portland, and
Mhm.
they've been making shoes for decades. These guys are just like the guys you go to if you have any problems with shoes or questions about footwear.
Mhm.
Um, they've been kind of aiding this whole process. They've been steering us in the right direction. They have a manufacturing connect in China. They're in Portland, which is a
Mhm.
shoe capital of America. But it is a lot of luck. It's right timing. I mean, I found myself in the right place, right time, more than I deserve to be, in my opinion. But
Right.
uh, yeah, it's also just I don't know. I think an idea is only as good as what you do with it. I
Mhm.
mean, this was an idea, and now it's a tangible thing I can hold in my hand, which is amazing. But I mean, it takes hard work and obsessing over and connections and luck and all
Mhm.
these things kind of play into this melting pot of reality. It's exciting though. I mean, it's definitely surreal to see it come to fruition. So that's for sure.
Yeah, I imagine you and your dad are raising a glass to, having a cleat in your hands, and right
Yeah.
off of a napkin that you drew on, however many years ago. So,
Yeah, it's. I was telling my dad this the other day actually, so these came in a few days ago. We have our friends running around these all over the country, but these came in like 5 days ago, I want to say.
uh-huh,
And our first prototype I made in our garage, and I combined like blue dish soap and quick hardening caulk. It makes like this transparent rubbery substance, and like I ripped the sole off a cleat and I put that on there so I could just watch it move, and like
uh-huh.
that was our first prototype. And now we got this actually decent looking functioning, kind of high-end product. And it's just,
Right.
long time coming. So we're raising glasses all the time here. So
Good. You should, as you should. So there's been a lot of testing, like of ligament tears, grass versus turf, and men versus women, and that sort of thing. And like you said, there's a higher rate of injury in women. That's cool that you're focusing on women's soccer, because they happen all the time in women's soccer, obviously. So talk about like how you're marketing that to. Let's talk about women's soccer, because that's kind of where we are in this podcast thing. So talk about how you're marketing, and what age can start to wear them, and all that good stuff. But just kind of a product info download, and then how you're getting the word out.
Mm-hmm. So when it comes to women's soccer, we're not targeting the youth sports yet.
Mm-hmm.
We're trying to keep it a adult thing for now, just because kids are still growing, and that's just, I don't want to say it's messy, but I'll
Mm-hmm.
say that, like, messy. That was a soccer joke. It actually was.
Well done. Well done.
I appreciate that. But I'd like to. We're focusing on women because they deserve it. I mean, and ultimately, there's a greater need for it than men's sports. There just is. There simply is. So it's the same concept. The stud orientation is different. So this is the men's football cleat. The studs will be configured a little differently based on the anatomical differences of women and men, just because of that's why they get their ACLs torn for the anatomical difference. So it's the same thing. I know our Instagram just looks like football right now, because we have Instagram, our NIL athletes we signed from college sports, but we're actually signing 2 soccer players this week. I can't tell you who it is yet. But we're looking to get some testing done. Our women's cleats come in about probably a month. We're going to send them out to different colleges, different girls we know playing college sports and the professional levels as well. So just kind of going about it the same way. But unfortunately, men's football is a bigger market, especially on social media. So we're pushing both, but men's is just coming in at different wavelengths. But I'm excited to start, letting everyone know who we're signing and what we're doing with women's soccer. I'm really excited. I think this could be so big for the sport and just that whole entire space, because they don't have anything that the men don't. You know what I mean? They don't have anything to differentiate themselves between different. I think it's wrong, but I'm excited because it's a necessity. So we're just trying to push it out same way as football. But like I said, signing our first girls this week, and we're gonna get them their cleats. They can try them out and wear them and market them if they feel they deserve marketing. And same approach, kind of.
Cool. Yeah. So obviously, like we said, there's a higher rate of injury in the women's game, and that's really cool. I love the way you say that. Like, they deserve it. So that's certainly true. Have you how did you develop a different cleat pattern? Is that based on the science, or kind of testing, or how did you determine that they needed a different cleat pattern?
There's been like decades of literature on this very subject, like stud orientation, stud length, stud placement, conical versus plated studs, and then you have all that information based off of gender-specific sports. So we're kind of just taking. We've been. It sounds like a dumb term. Like, we've been taking notes on this for 10 years. Like, we're kind of up to speed with everything that's going on in terms of the coming outs of all this information. So we're just kind of basing it off that. And also, like I said, the people we've asked for counsel for this, they've written these papers before, so they know. They're guiding us in directions that we wouldn't be putting ourselves in if we didn't have them on the team. So we're looking at what people have done before. We're looking at what people have tested. We're looking at people have approved, and we're getting advice from biomedical engineers who have PhDs and stuff, and they understand on a level that I will never understand. So I don't want to speculate too much and say the wrong thing, but we've done our homework, and it's a time and place for football studs and women's studs, and we're going 2 different ways.
Are they replaceable?
No.
Okay.
they look replaceable, but they're not. Remember the screw-in studs?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, those never worked out very well. Um,
Right.
they've tried that for years, and all companies have, and ultimately I think it just didn't pan out the way anyone thought it would. So we're not going to do screw-ins.
They looked cool. I mean,
they did look cool.
When I was a kid, it was cool to have some studs, but you only could wear them when it was absolutely sloppy, right? So yeah. Well, cool. So are you gonna? I see that you have a black pair with kind of some teal detail, teal sole. Are you gonna explore? Yeah. You gonna explore new other colors and colorways, and you gonna be trying to be fashion forward, or how's that work?
Yeah.
Okay.
We're definitely trying to be function forward for sure, but a lot of the comments were like, "We'll make white ones." Like, all right, we'll make white ones. Just
Right.
So we're gonna have a white and a black pair the first year.
Gotcha.
This is very much a trial and error thing. The next few months, just to kind of see what everyone wants, like from a fashion perspective, not function.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're there's a great designer with our generator. Her name is Lindsay, and she's just elite when it comes to design. Send us new things every week, and we have the things to pick from. We're sending to our friends, seeing what they think. So we're kind of gathering, the data from the masses to see what looks good. So we're gonna make a white pair similar to this one, but the women's one will have a little sock right here, like the soccer ones.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be white, and it'll be pretty sweet. I'm excited to reveal it. So
cool. When are those gonna be ready?
Yeah. By a month. Probably less than. Yeah.
Cool. And so you're tomorrow, meaning February 14th, Valentine's Day, Wednesday, not tomorrow, Wednesday, 2 days. Is your pre-order sale starts, right?
Correct. Yep.
Did I say that right? Pre-sale?
Yep. You did.
So everyone can get online, football players, right? Can get online.
Anyone. So women's soccer or men's football.
Okay, women's soccer and men's football can get online and order. And then, so like, what's that process? And walk us through, when they're going to actually be able to put them on their feet.
Yeah. So Wednesday the pre-sale opens, and then this summer they'll be delivered. I know it's a long time away, but we're just trying to see, like I said, kind of trial and error in terms of design, who wants what. Mm-hmm. So if we sell out in one design and one color, now we know not to make the other color. So but it's as simple as that. Our website will be live on Wednesday. You can go in now and enter your email address to kind of have first access to the pre-sale. We're only releasing a limited number of quantity. So, but yeah, it's just they're coming this summer, and probably June for the pre-sale orders, and then everything else probably July. So.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
What am I missing, man?
I don't know, man. I think they're pretty good.
Okay. I mean, it's exciting. I can't imagine how excited and probably nervous and just all the emotions all in one, as you bring this thing to market. It's got to be crazy for you.
Yeah. No, it's a lot. It's a lot going on in my head. A lot going on with my dad, and my buddy Grant does social media, and he's the guy in the videos you all see, and just it's fun though, man. Like I said, very lucky. Way luckier than I feel like I deserve to be, but it's a fun spot to be in. So
yeah, very cool. Yeah, I'm excited to see how it pans out, and can't wait to see who you have coming in soccer wise, and I'll definitely be following you on social media and all that. So
yeah, please, Jimmy, I'll send you a pair when they get here.
Right on. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Maybe we can talk about doing a giveaway or something for.
Yeah, I'd love to, man. I'd love to. Let me know.
Cool. Awesome. Got anything else?
I don't.
Okay.
I don't.
All right.
Yeah.